as the governor in May last year, he made the issue of security a priority. There is no way a people, a nation can make any meaningful development or progress in whatever sphere so long as the people are not secured, so long as the territories are not peaceful, so long as businesses cannot thrive. There is nothing that can ever benefit the people of any nation once their security is not guaranteed, once they are not peaceful, once there is no room for people to travel from one area to the other without let or hindrance. The government of Adamawa State in 1 year took it upon itself to help the military, particularly in their quest to overrun and overcome the security challenge across the state. The government made serious investment in the area of security by providing the necessary wherewithal that will enhance the capability and capacity of the military in the fight against insurgency and other criminalities. It will interest you to know that upon the coming of this government, the government provided some military, some equipment that will supplement what the military and the other security agencies are having. The government of Adamawa State donated 60 Hilux vans to all security agencies across board in Adamawa State to enhance their mobility, to enhance surveillance, to enhance its operation. And then there is this all-purpose desert truck, 10 in number, that were provided for the Nigerian army. This desert truck is a sophisticated truck that enables movement across difficult terrain and particularly sandy areas for the desert. And then there is other hardware that is provided for movement, like motorcycles to aid vigilantes and some other people. Government engaged 600 vigilantes across the state to supplement the shortfall in personnel and other local intelligence for the military and the police. And they are all on salary of 45,000 naira on monthly basis every year, every month in Adamawa State. There is also the funding of all security agencies. This in no way has helped in giving the military, the police, and other security agencies an edge over the insurgents and bandits we have across. Yeah.
I see. The Northeast governors told the president that the police should be better equipped so that they are able to support the military in anti-insurgency and other national security issues. Now, you've talked about a number of things that you did in collaboration or you did to help the military. How about the police here? Are these security problems raging because the military and police lack enough personnel and equipment?
Yes, the issue of personnel is very well an issue. It is not just about personnel, it is also about the know-how, the knowledge of the terrain, and then the collaboration of the local intelligence with the security agencies. The police will in no small way add value to the fight against insurgency because of their knowledge of the local terrain, the knowledge of the local people, the knowledge of the local intelligence, and also their ability to handle weapons officially. And this will supplement the shortfall that we are having in the military personnel. So the governors of the Northeast sub-region, they are conscious of the fact that most of the things that the president do not know or couldn't know because he may not be having the information at their disposal, they conveyed it to him themselves. And this I am aware, I'm very confident it will change the perception and the narrative of the fight against insurgency and banditry in the Northeast.
Lagos, if you just joined the show, you're listening to Hard Facts on 99.3 Nigeria Info. How do we end insurgency, banditry, and other forms of insecurity in the Northeast? That's a question that a lot of people have asked, a lot of Nigerians have asked. And today we're talking to a special assistant to the governor of Adamawa State. This one is the senior special assistant on public affairs. His name is Barrister Sandra Wugira, and he's talking to us about what they're facing in Adamawa and in the Northeast as a whole. And he's also talking about what steps the Adamawa state government is taking. Now, if you have questions for the SSA, kindly send them to WhatsApp. I'll take call, but we can't take calls at the moment because technology isn't always very friendly. So send a WhatsApp message. WhatsApp is 080-959-75805. Whatever questions you have, WhatsApp is 080-959-75805. Ask him about the security question. Ask him about what the government is doing to ratify the security situation. Barrister Wugira, governors are the chief security officers of their state, but they also don't have any legal power to command or control the activities of the military or the police. How much of a challenge is this lack of actual power for your principal? And are there ways that governors like Governor Fintiri still manage to get the cooperation of the security agencies when maybe they don't agree on what to do next?
Well, this has, there will always be a challenge. These are human endeavors. Naturally, it is part of the challenges we have in a constitutional democracy. But it is also incumbent on the governors to find a way to move ahead despite the challenges. For my principal, the governor of Adamawa State, it has been so far so good. The relationship he has with all the security chiefs in Adamawa State has been cordial. They have a robust understanding of the challenge, and they have been most cooperative. The government has been cooperative and has been helpful. The commanders themselves have been most receptive and then helpful at the same time. We have had several attempts by the Boko Haram insurgents to overrun some of the areas of, particularly in the northern flanks of Madagali and Michika. The army, the police, all other security forces, they have been most handy, they've been helpful. They were able to repel the insurgents, and to a large extent, so far, we have never found any reason whatsoever to doubt the capacity of the commanders we have in the state, and the relationship between them has been very receptive, and then the people are equally aware that these people are up and doing. Yes, there will always be one or two challenges, but so far we've been very comfortable and satisfied with all their activities and their response to challenges whenever they cropped up.
We've seen state governments in the southwest insist on their own security outfit, things like Amotekun. Do you think the northeast will benefit from a step like that?
Well, there is already in some states a kind of a security outfit, not unified like the Amotekun in the southwest, but we have the civilian JTF in the northern flanks of Borno and Yobe. We have some vigilantes across all the states. In Adamawa State, we have Operation Farauta. All these things are geared for the purpose of lending a hand and protecting the local communities against all of these challenges that usually cropped up. Some of them, they may not necessarily be against the insurgents, but we have cases of bandits, kidnappers, and some minor criminalities that needed the protection of local intelligence and then local vigilantes to aid the overwhelming challenges bedeviling the security forces, notably the police. And then some of the issues they are handling, they may not necessarily need the attention of the military, they can handle. Where necessary, they also provide intelligence lead to the military and other forces to take over from.
Lagos, send your questions in via WhatsApp. WhatsApp is 080-959-75805. Tweet at us at Nigeria Info FM. We're streaming this conversation on Facebook. Facebook is Nigeria Info 99.3. You've got questions for the Senior Special Assistant to the Adamawa State Governor. Go ahead and share those questions. We've got a Twitter where you can share as well. Use the hashtag HardFacts so that I can see it. Tweet at Nigeria Info FM. Barrister Wugira, beyond security agencies, tell us some of the steps that your principal, the governor of Adamawa State, has been taking to uphold security in the state and maybe even in the region.
Well, the one major step that aids the security stabilization is the engagement of the youth in productive ventures. Over time that the government is on board, young people from across the state are being engaged in one way or the other to ensure that at least they have food on the table, and besides that also they proactively prepare themselves for gainful enterprise that will take them away from the lure and the temptations of criminality and crime.
What kind of ways? What kind of things are they engaged in? What are these engagements you're talking about?
Provision of gainful employment, skillful jobs. Training, giving them training, and then venturing into agriculture, keying into several provisions made by the government at the center and also the state to benefit from schemes like loans and other entrepreneurial training that will take them off the street and make them gainfully employed and independent. This will in no way reduce the influx of young men into criminality. If you look at the age bracket of those in the insurgency and those that are taken up to banditry, those that are involved in kidnapping and violent crimes, they are largely young men within the age bracket of 18 to 35 up to 40. When this group of people are gainfully engaged, their minds will be taken off crime, and the number of the people joining this banditry insurgency will reduce greatly. And young people, once there is a disconnect between idleness and then the prospect of benefiting from criminality and the joy of being engaged, being independent, running your own show, your own business, no matter how little, with the prospect of growth, and then having a stable lifestyle, definitely this criminality, this insurgency, this banditry, this kidnapping issues would be reduced greatly. And this is what the government so far has been engaged in.
All right, let's move on to the IDP situation in Adamawa State. What's that like? How many IDPs are there, and how many camps are they in?
Well, I don't have the number of IDPs in my hand, but so far we've had some camps. We have one in Malkohi, in Yola South. We have one in Fofore local government. We have one in Demsa local government. We have some camps also in Gire. We have some camps within Yola, and there are other people living in clusters that are not really camps, but they are so far on their own, trying to make a living, trying to establish new communities away from their communities. Government has been most helpful. Some non-governmental organizations has also been helpful. And at this juncture, I would like to this measure to commend the Catholic Diocese of Yola in Adamawa State. They have been most exemplary. They have provided succor to a lot of the IDPs here in Yola and in other parts of the state. And they have been most exemplary. Right now, they are in the process of building, because they have started, the buildings are almost 80% completed. They are providing 84 houses for IDPs by the church on its own with the help of other organizations. This is exemplary, this is commendable, and I pray that other agencies, non-governmental organizations, will key into this and provide a lifeline and livelihood, particularly a permanent settlement in a peaceful area where necessary to the internally displaced persons.
Okay. We've got somebody who's asking a question on WhatsApp. Chisom from Ojo says, why don't we embrace technology to fight the banditry just like developed countries used? So things like tracking devices, CCTV cameras, etc., etc. Has there been any talk about using technology to fight the insecurity in the northeast, Barrister Wugira?
Yes, the issue of fighting insurgency with the use of technology has always been the best. And the government over the years has been trying to look at ways, but it should also be understood that there are limitations to this. Most of our areas here in Adamawa State, particularly in Hinterland, you find out that there are no even networks there. And particularly the bandits and the kidnappers, some of them actually they use communication gadgets to get across to victims' families and move around, plot their intelligence. The government of states are having limitations with regards to this, taking into cognizance the fact that on their own, they cannot use this technology. It has to be in collaboration with the police, with the security service, with the military intelligence and the rest. Actually, should go to particularly the state security service. Before now, there was this intelligence, technology, communication intelligence. I wouldn't know what has happened or what has become of that. CCTV cameras can only work where there is power and also in places where definitely some of these activities are proven to be prevalent. But you cannot just go to villages where movements are very rare to start planting or putting these CCTV cameras. Definitely, we cannot run away from using technology to fight these criminalities. But here we have limitations, but there is room for improvement, and that will never, ever be taken for granted.
Victor Ogili from Isheri says, with all this security apparatus put in place in Adamawa and by extension the Northeast, we still hear of cases of attacks almost on a daily basis. Sir, do you think the government is doing enough, or do you think the security has been compromised?
Well, first and foremost, the issue of attacks on a daily basis, yes, we have had attacks. Yes, there are prospects of attacks. Yes, there are possibilities of attacks, but it is not done on a daily basis. But that does not mean that the security will rest on its arse, believing that it has not been happening on a daily basis. Most of the attacks are even being foiled before they can cause any damage on the communities. We have to also give it with security force. But still, there is room for more improvement. Yes, there are security arrangements being made on a daily basis, a heavy investment in hardware and things. And the deal of the community also needs to come together and then see how we can give information. Largely, a lot of people are withholding information because of compromises here and there, because of lack of confidentiality and confidence in the system. But this also is being worked on to build confidences, to restore confidence in the people that, yes, information will be treated with confidentiality, identities of informants will be hidden, and they will be given protection and things like that. On a daily basis, the government of Adamawa State is building confidences and making inroads into communities to see how the communities will collaborate with security agencies and information officers to ensure lead harnessing of information and faster communication. This has also helped in stemming the tide in the rise by the insurgents in our communities. That is why most of our communities now are peaceful, but we still have a long way to go.
Let's talk about community clashes that we've been hearing come out of Guyuk. What's the root cause of that situation there? What's the government doing to tackle it?
Well, the government is doing its best, but we also have to understand that some of these clashes are as a result of a long animosity. Most of us, we tell our children behind closed doors what ordinarily we should not tell them. It to do with our upbringing. It has to do with the way we live our lives in the community and the way and manner we regard each other. There is this mutual distrust and mutual fear of each other. And then there are so many other issues. The government, as a step, it has first and foremost, a commission of inquiry has been set up, and they are to unravel all those behind the crisis, to prescribe punishment, ways and means to restore confidence and trust in the people in various communities. And assuredly, with the commission and the steps taken by the government, we are now, but that also is just a pointer that it could happen tomorrow. So we must make sure that at least are made to understand that life is about live and let live. A step has also been taken concretely by the state government through a bill that was sponsored to establish a Peace and Reconciliation Commission in the state. The bill was passed. Now it is very soon the governor will accede to that bill and will have a Peace and Reconciliation Commission in the state to work towards building confidences in our various communities. Even before, where communities are relatively peaceful, we also need to consolidate on that peace. Where there are fragile issues, we need to work on that. So these are the steps being taken by the government.
I see. All right, then. If you just joined the show, you're listening to Hard Facts on 99.3 Nigeria Info. There's something the Guardian newspaper, Barrister Wugira, reported last month that when Governor Fintiri visited an IDP camp in Guyuk, some of the IDPs blamed the deputy governor for the crisis in their area while praising the governor for its efforts. Has the governor commented on that accusation against his deputy?
It will be inappropriate for the governor to delve into such issues. The governor and the deputy governor were there present. The deputy governor is from the southern part of the state, where Guyuk is. They are communities. They are neighbors. They are not. The deputy governor is not from Guyuk local government. He is from Lamorde. They are neighbors. There are politics, there are so many other issues that the government will not want to go into that. We have a Peace and Reconciliation Commission. If people are having issues against anyone, they can go and make representation before the commission. if one is involved in any other thing, it can never be hidden. But people should also be conscious of the fact that they should be careful not to be used to smear someone's good reputation on the altar of politics or convenience. That is what we have to say.
Okay. Let's talk about how the Northeast governors are working together to improve the security situation of Wugira.
Yes.
How are they? In what ways are they doing this?
Well, before they are coming together to form a forum, they are working individually and then on an interpersonal basis. The security challenge in the Northeast calls for a collaborative action. That was why in the month of March, the governors collectively came together. They met in Gombe and formed this forum, the Northeast Governors Forum, to principally and collectively confront security challenge bedeviling the sub-region. This is commendable. They met again in Maiduguri. They could not meet subsequently because of the COVID-19 issues. And in November, again, they are meeting in Adamawa State. On every occasion where there is need, they meet, even if it is outside the glare of the public or the press, and all is to ensure that at least the Northeast region, our peace, our security challenge is tackled, the issue of banditry, the issue of insurgency, people settlement, getting back to their historical places to go and live with their communities and eke out a living as usual. So that is the issue, and they have never rested from the day they've started working together.
All right. This farmland situation, it's a conversation that continues to come up again and again. Yesterday, we had the Borno State governor saying that one of the major reasons people are getting recruited into insurgency and banditry is the loss of access to their farmlands. Do you or the Adamawa State government agree with that assessment?
Well, you see, that statement came from an informed prism, and it is not far-fetched. You can see when people could not have access to their source of livelihood, they can resort to any other avenue that will provide food on their table. That you people, when you are denied access to school, you don't have access to a gainful employment, you cannot till the land, because the security situation makes it impossible for you to go to farm for one reason or the other. If you go there, it is either you are killed or you are kidnapped or you are recruited forcefully. So this provides a versatile ground for the incursion or recruitment of young people into these criminalities and criminal tendencies. Very well, it is a fact that where people are provided access to their farmlands, where the security of people is guaranteed, assuredly there is dignity in labor, because there is no honor in criminality. Even if you are doing it for the purpose of eking out a living, your conscience will always be haunting you. And most of us here, most of the young people are lured into these criminalities because the access to gainful employment, access to farmlands to work and eke out a living, to even eat on your own, is a challenge. Once that is tackled, assuredly, you will see a drastic drop in the incursion and recruitment of young people into these criminalities and insurgency.
Barrister Sandra Wugira, thank you so much for giving us your time on Hard Facts.
It is my pleasure.
All right. Barrister Sandra Wugira is the Senior Special Assistant on Public Affairs to the Governor of Adamawa State. And he's giving us a long minute, very long minutes of his time, talking about the security situation in the Northeast. what do you think about the things that he's said to us today? We've got about 2 minutes to take calls, and then we have to switch gears and talk to our friends from Olymp. They've got Forex tutorials to share with you if you want to invest in that sort of business. That's coming up at 3:45. But we take a quick break. I'll come back, take a few calls and your messages on social media. I'm Sandra Ezekwesili.
This is Hard Facts. Welcome back to Hard Facts with Sandra Ezekwesili.
Yes, Lagos. I will take. Oh, wait, hold up. We don't actually have time to take any calls or any comments because we already have our guys from Olymp right here itching to talk to you about the scheme that they have prepared for you. Now, stay here. After this conversation, International Youth Day is still live on Hard Facts. We're celebrating young people in Nigeria today because young people are magic. And so immediately after this, let's talk about widows, because which are also losing their husbands and they're experiencing all kinds of unsavory things after they lose their husbands. Now, the women that I have on the show talking to me today from 4 p.m. are women that you want to hear from. They are fierce. So let's have that conversation from 4 o'clock. I'm Sandra Ezekwesili.
This is a paid announcement.